Toby, you crazy. Toby, you crazy. Toby, you crazy. Toby, you crazy. Bougiewild, 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 Bougiewild. I said the universe gave it to me. I said the universe gave it to me. Bougiewild, 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 Bougiewild. I said the universe gave it to me. I said the universe gave it to me. Bougiewild can't be boxed. I'm free to be me. I'm living life, creating legacy. I'm living my dream. They call me extra. They say I'm doing too much. I'm just bougie wild. Cause I'm classy with some style. Bougie wild, 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 bougie wild.
Hi, this is Yolanda with Transparent Table Talk. Transparent Table Talk is a platform where people are willing to speak about their personal life from a humble, transparent, and vulnerable place. The purpose of the show is to bring awareness to topics society does not discuss that have people suffering in silence due to shame or blame. The vision is to create a place for people to have conversations without fear of judgment. Because the reason is I wish someone would have had these conversations with me. The goal is to inspire and empower to make the choice to live a happy life. The mission is to heal this hurt world by showing that we all go through the same things. We have a choice to be reborn and live in the spirit. Tonight, our guest is Kelly Graham Tick. Kelly Graham Tick is a Canadian registered massage therapist, educator, storyteller, lover of life, people, animals, and planet duchess of nurturing touch, hugger of peeps and talking trees, wisdom seeker, soul doula, cuddler of babies, hand holder of the elders, resounder of respite, proud mama of amazing human, plants, and fur babies, compassionate extraordinaire, founder of the One Caring Human Initiative. Let's welcome Kelly to the show.
Hello, thank you.
Hello, welcome.
Thanks. So good to be here.
Awesome. The name of tonight's show is One Caring Human. Kelly, tell us what brought you to Transparent Table Talk.
I thought your mission is so fantastic, and we do need to talk about so many things that are kept hidden and swept under the rug, or we feel like we're being judged for. And so it's very, very important to get those things out there. So I really appreciate your mission. And one of the reasons that I feel there are people that are judged for being who they are quite a lot. And I work with a lot of elderly and dying folks as well. And we don't talk a lot about aging and dying in a positive light because we have a lot, we've been taught to fear those things.
Kelly, that is a great conversation to have. And I see that we fear death because from my observation in my life, we're not living.
Yeah. Yes.
We're not being, we fear death because we're not being our true authentic self without that fear of judgment. Because when you are able to live to your fullest, you understand. Like for me, I'm a can't be box free to be girl. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and realizing the conditioning that was done, and understanding that one day this energy is going to leave me.
Right? It's
Yeah.
going to leave our bodies
Yeah.
and we'll be somewhere else
Right. Right.
in
Right.
spirit.
Right.
But
In spirit.
it's definitely something that um, is an issue in society. I mean, the anti-aging industry is billions of dollars, and it's just growing. And that's a system that tells us we're not good enough as we are. For one, we're not
Ooh.
good enough if we're old. For
Right.
another,
Right.
and we don't deserve to be part of society, even if we're dying. Um, yeah, that's been
You're
a lot.
correct.
I've been seeing that for years. Many a massage therapist and working in care homes and in hospice and hospitals, and there's so much of that. It feels like people are disconnected from society and hidden away because we don't want to look it in the face, right? It's a tough subject for a lot of people.
And like I said, this is a great topic that you brought up, because we do need to bring awareness to people, um that we have to live in the now, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
We have to live in the now and enjoy the now and do the things in the now that is in tune with our spirit, and realize that we are unique. We're unique, and we have to be okay with who we are. Like, as a person, I'm like you say, you watch my Instagram.
Yeah.
I am a can't be box free to be me person, and I say that so openly, because some people try to judge me based on the things I enjoy doing that brings me love, joy, peace, and laughter.
That's right.
And my response to that is, I'm not killing nobody. I'm not stealing from anybody. And I don't destroy. Like, those my boundaries. I don't even judge people. You hear me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I realize, if I were to judge someone, that would be my fears I am projecting on you.
That's right. That's right. And it's something that people are judged for all the time, is being authentic. And if they are too much for those that are around them, they are labeled as too much, or too colorful, too flirty, too
Too
nice,
loud,
too
right?
everything, right?
All of that.
All of those things. So that's one part of it that I see. And the other part of it is that people are scared of dying because what we see in our society is being put away, being hidden. And especially if you're in a care home, there's a lot of, I feel like human dignity is not always there. And so it really was highlighted through the pandemic and the shutdowns. And us as massage therapists were not considered essential visitors for these people. And they sat in isolation for 18 months until we were allowed back in. And many people may have died from loneliness rather than COVID. And they would have rather taken the chance at getting COVID if they were allowed to see their loved ones. And so that's where one caring human came from, is if just one caring human were allowed in during that pandemic, it could have saved lives, or at least raised the quality of their lives. And so people fear that kind of death. And so if we were to transform the way that people are cared for in these times of our lives, then maybe we wouldn't be so scared of it. So that's the other angle that I see happening.
Yes. Yes. And that is a great perspective that you are identifying, um that we as a society should take a closer look, because one day we're going to be that person.
Absolutely. Exactly. That's what I feel too. Yeah.
We're going to be that person. And then, like, I feel you on this, Kelly, because you're being an advocate now to say, you guys as a society, we need to recognize and realize the importance of, just human interaction is important.
Yeah.
What I've discovered, Kelly, is relationships with, um being able to be um so as we grow older, we don't have that choice anymore once we're put in care homes, or whatever our situation is. We just not able to get out anymore. So I can see, like, where your service as a massage therapist come in, because you're not only massaging them, you're talking to them, and just that touch, you know what
Yes.
I mean? And I can
Exactly.
speak so passionate about this because I went through a divorce in 2019, and shortly after I went celibate. Like, it took me time to heal, but massage therapist was my touch.
Yes.
It was my
Exactly.
touch. It was
Yeah.
it was it was what I did to um feel that void,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
A lot of
that
people came.
loneliness. Yeah.
That's right. Especially after the pandemic, there were
Mm-hmm.
so many people were touch deprived
Mm-hmm.
that coming back to massage therapy was so integral to their re-embodiment, or being able to feel their bodies and trust their bodies again, and be
Mm-hmm.
able to understand what their bodies were telling them and the signals, because it was so absent for so long, that
Mm-hmm.
especially if you didn't have a partner or children or some other family that you were able to have some nurturing touch with, if
Mm-hmm.
that was not there, then it was absent. And humans need nurturing touch in order to survive and thrive, and that wasn't happening. So it's for everybody. But yes, a lot of people came to massage therapy after that, just to get reintegrated with their own nervous systems and their own bodies. It's
And
so
let me just
important.
say, I love massages. I love massages. I'm actually hosting a massage day May 13th
Ah, cool.
here in my home, where I turn my bedrooms. I turn, like up here right now, I'm in my theater room, and I turn it into, like, a massage area, and then I turn another one of my bedrooms, and then just have food, champagne. It's just like,
Amazing. Why have I never thought of that?
yeah.
That's great.
Look, take it, because it's something that ladies and I it's an all-inclusive thing where the ladies, they come over to my home, and I'm excited because this is the first one this year for 2023. I
So
try to
great.
wait until the weather break a little bit, because I have a beautiful backyard with oak trees,
Oh,
and they can sit outside, and
lovely.
just my backyard looks like a park. So,
Ah,
um in the springtime, people love to sit outside, and I'll do a nice display of food, and it's just like us being like, I'm a big kid, Kelly. That's
yes.
what people don't understand about me. I'm a big kid. I like to play dress up. I like to have fun with my dishes. Like last weekend, I had my tea set out, and
Nice.
I just like
Oh, I
doing
can see
stuff.
that coming through in your Instagram. You like
Yeah,
to play.
yeah.
That's
So
important.
yes, and I mean, it, like you said, that interaction, like the bottom line is healthiness, the healthy
Mhm.
touch, the healthy
Yes,
relationship.
that's
So
right.
I like this, the one caring person, because um we are living in a society where a lot of us, I'm sure you hear a lot, Kelly, from older people, like
Mhm.
realizing what they shoulda, coulda, woulda did. Like when you get older, you realize, man,
Yeah.
I'm older now and I've lived my life pleasing people.
Right? Yeah. Yes. Society is a big control factor, and what people think people care about immensely because it's been trained into them. And so by the time they don't care anymore about anyone else's opinion, they're older often. And um, their advocacy has maybe been taken away, and then they talk about it. Um, and I see it too. It's hard to watch sometimes where people can't get anyone's attention, and I might be the only person in a lounge full of seniors who are trying to get someone's attention, and I'm just working there with one patient, and then once I'm done, if I have time, I'll go and hold their hand and talk to them because nobody else is around, and
Wow.
it's super sad. um, but that, I think it can change. I think that we can all make a big difference in that, and start to create spaces that are more compassionate
Wow.
and be there for compassionate presence and the nurturing touch, because everybody
Right.
needs that. Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow. You know, you're just making me realize, because I am on this journey of bringing awareness to this thing, and like you said, the older people and how they feel, and what we deal with. It's an unspoken topic, right? It's an unspoken topic that we deal with, the people pleasing, that we deal with
Hmm.
what how it feels when people make comments or judge us. And it's something we'll be like, oh, I'm fine, but do we really be fine? Like, are we
No.
really okay? And then we have to grow older in age. Life is a cycle. Like I tell people, I want you all to celebrate my death. I don't want you to mourn
Right.
death. You know, I'm okay. Like if I die today, I'm okay
Exactly.
because I live my.
We're fine. It's the people left behind that have these uh, suffering ideas in their head, and they may be separated from us and might be sad from that, but we're fine. When we transition, we're okay. um, it's just how the quality and the dignity we have afforded people before they die. My mom passed away this past December, and um, it was it was a tough transition in some ways, but I feel like she was ready to go, and I wanted to honor that in her journey. But there were ways to advocate um, for her and not tell her what to do. And I realized through that process that she wanted as much agency as she could have, and she didn't want us to dictate how her last few weeks were going to go. And uh, at one point, she made it bluntly clear that, you know what, I don't want to be told what to do. I need your help in making sure that I can use my voice until I can't anymore. So it shifted my perspective, and I was able to more um, help her get to a place that she was more comfortable with and able to speak her mind until she wasn't able to anymore. So that was pretty cool. It was a neat understanding, even though it was a hard place to be, but it was a good realization. So
Wow.
we all have those things, right? And um, the other another issue regarding caring for someone who's dying, a loved one who's dying, is in Canada for sure. There's no support financially for people who are self-employed to take time off work or their businesses in order to care for loved ones that are sick or dying. And so that was a big issue, and that's something I'd like to see change as well, is the financial support. Because without that, how are you going to give that quality of care? Or like, your priority right then is wanting to be with that person who is dying as much as possible. And then the obstacles are huge. You still have to financially support yourself, your family, your living situation, all of those things. And so I think that more support is definitely needed too. And that's something that isn't always talked about, especially here in our medical systems. I'm not sure about the US, but I'm sure there's similar situations, and more people would love to be able to be supportive to their loved ones if they could be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. Like you said, we don't even I had a guest on the show one time, and she was talking about the grieving process,
Mm-hmm.
after the transition, and how they give us 3 days. Well, in the US you get like 7, you get 3 days. And she was like, it's not something that we look at and realize that we've been hurt. No different than if you break an arm or you break a leg or something. You
Exactly.
can take off 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You have a baby, you could, you get maternity leave.
Yeah.
But when you lose someone, or like you said, when you're going, when you're in the process of taking care of a loved one, it's something that we don't look at in society. Like,
No.
and Kelly, when you look at a lot of stuff, like you said, a lot of things on how our society operate, it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's important?
Exactly.
The things that are important, like, it's sad.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we need to look at those processes and understand that these are humans. They're not just obstacles.
Right.
We want to give quality of life. And so I see a lot of things that could change in ways when it comes to the elderly, the dying, and caregivers, to be able to support in such better ways. So
You have
I
a
mean,
very valid point that you are identifying, and this is something that causes people to suffer.
yeah,
And it, you're suffering. It caused you to suffer, cause your family to suffer, because society is not understanding the whole life, like you said, the life cycle.
yeah,
The
exactly.
life cycle. And in that phase of it, like with you having experienced this, you're speaking from this vulnerable place today,
Yeah.
on something that a society should take a look at. I mean, one from, just the transition of aging, and the still the love, the touch that we need, and the caring that we need from our family members, the support we need from society. Like you said, for self-employed individuals, is there some type of insurance that we could
Mm-hmm.
possibly get to cover us? That's a disability, because if I
Yeah.
have to take care of a loved one, I'm not able to work. I'm disabled to work.
Yeah. Truth. Exactly.
So I get it. I'm listening, and it's
Mm-hmm.
valid. It's
Yeah.
valid. It's something that, like you said, we're suffering in silence. Like, who hear us on this
Mm-hmm.
on this topic, and other families are suffering. I'm sure this show is going to bless someone to be like, "Wow, never thought about it like that." Because I did. You got a valid point, though, Kelly.
Mm-hmm. So I think, like, parents get maternity leave or paternity leave, it would be great to have a parent caregiver leave, or loved one caregiver fund of some sort, so that people can take time off work or away from their businesses and still be able to afford to pay rent or put food on the table, and not be desolate because of this situation that's going to happen to everybody. Right?
I used to work for the Internal Revenue Service, and they had a fund. It was similar to that, but it was like you could donate leave. You could donate
Oh,
leave
wow.
to become part of the fund. To become part of it was called I forgot the name of it, Kelly, but I can tell you how they had it set up to where you possibly, it's a great idea for you to do. It could be a nonprofit organization.
Great idea.
But what you would do is, let's just say everybody that's a participant of it will have to make us so much donation, right? And then the donation would go toward to where in the event you ever needed the money, you would be able to use the money. But just people would come together and make contributions, because you could be surprised, what contributions you could get from other people, fundraisers, grants, because this is a great idea. And One Caring Human would be a great nonprofit organization. Like One Caring, this is to care for humans that's losing their loved one, and like you said, for self-employed individuals, because I'm now self-employed. And you're making me realize, like, oh my God.
What do you do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This is something real. You got your nonprofit organization.
Yes. Working on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. You got, and like I'm also a member of Moxie. Moxie is like a bartering system. It's a regulated bartering system. It can be like that, where although you'll be putting the money in there, but in the event that you need it, it'll be there for you. Get some good financial advisors to do something with the money so that the funds can be available. That's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea.
That's possible.
Add that in for sure.
It's possible. You have a very, that's something that you bring in today on Transparent Table Talk. Thank you. Because we do need to have more of these conversations and not be ashamed to talk about things like this that we are experiencing in life. We'll go through things like this and not share with the next person because we're like, oh my God, I didn't have the fun. Well, let's take that experience and help the next person that may experience this, that I learned from my encounter.
Yeah.
So
it's so important to talk about. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It is. Because I looked at, look, I'm transparent, right? I said, how did it fit into my mission? You did. Look, you did. Because I have an assistant. She corresponds with you all. And I got so much going on. I'm just being honest. And I looked at it right before the show. I'm like, okay, who's the guest tonight? I emailed you. I was like, how did this fit into, and but it really is a valid point. It really is something that we're suffering in silence, and we don't talk about due to shame or blame, and if we become aware and come together, we can make a difference.
I agree. It's definitely, I think money and financial issues have a lot of shame in a lot of people's bodies and psyches. And that's something that I grew up with as well. And I think that it was difficult for us to talk about. My sister's also self-employed, and so neither of us had funding. And it's very difficult to reach out and say, hey, I'm struggling financially. Where can I get help? And for several months, our mom was sick. So it took a lot of resources, and it is shaming or feels shameful to not be able to have enough money in this society, which is so economically focused. It's ridiculous, right? And so those times where we're not able, we feel like failures because we haven't saved up enough or worked hard enough. And that's what society tells us if we don't have enough money. But it's so hard in this economic environment to be able to do that unless you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. you're not, it's hard to be viable. It's hard to keep paying all of your bills all of the time. People are living month to month all the time. And so that shame lives inside us a lot. And if we don't talk about it, it grows, right? And so I'm sure you have lots of topics on this show that have a lot to do with ideas that feel like shame and getting them out in the open, like Brené Brown talks about, is shame can't live with compassion. Shame can't live if there's company, non-judgmental company, right? You tell someone you trust, or someone who receives it well and is compassionate to what's happening inside of you, and that shame can't live anymore. And so it's a really excellent tool to be able to have transparent talk and share it with so many people. Absolutely.
Right. And that, what you just expressed, is the reason why Transparent Table Talk was created, because I witnessed society conditioning us to hide things that we all go through. It, Kelly, just to give you some background, I've been on my own since I was 15 years old. Was raised in a poverty mindset, uneducated mom. Had my first baby at 15, two by the time I was 17. Been on high school dropout. God has been good to me. I became transparent because I witnessed people trying to shame people about what they go through. And so I start telling my own business. I start being true. And so that's where my transparency come from. That's where my free to be me come from. That's where I am just like, this is me. And that's why a lot of people don't understand me, having been out in this world so young, entering the world as a vulnerable child, sitting back, like, I see things different. Like, the reality is, for me, the world is such a sad place because everybody is wearing masks before coronavirus. Like, we can't be our true, authentic self unapologetically. Like for me, I am a professional. I am a mom. I am Yolanda. Like, Yolanda has nothing to do with my profession. It has nothing to do with my mother, being a mother, being a friend, being a person of integrity, being a person of character. If I like, but society try to put you in that box. And so because of this box they created for us, they created a shame box. And and in this world, we say in God we trust, but we really don't. It's like we're living double-minded. We're living double-minded. We say one thing, but we're doing something else. And then we can't we create environments where we can't even be free. You know how we were free when we were children? We were just free. Like,
it becomes like a toxic separation of who your authentic self is and your outside persona, right?
Ooh, persona. Persona. And like James 1:8 in the Bible, a double mind is unstable in all their ways. Well, you all condition us to be a double mind.
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then, the book of Ephesians said the devil rules the world, and the devil rules the world because, like, shame, like, God showed me this, Kelly. God is love, joy, peace, and laughter.
Yeah.
Live good, feel good, do good, know good, recognize the good, become addicted to the good. That's what God is. All that is God is good. But on the other hand, the devil, it starts with the root of fear, doubt, and insecurity within ourselves. So because I got this fear, doubt, and insecurity, I'm going to come out And I'm going to create chaos, discord, conflict, irritation, aggravation, frustration, jealousy, envy, shame, blame. But we don't talk about it from a standpoint of the energies.
Yeah, that's right.
That we are feeding.
Yeah.
But instead, we talk about it like God is a puppeteer and devil is a puppeteer. Instead of us understanding the free will of choice. And it's because whatever we sow, whatever we sow is what we're going to get karma,
Right. I mean, have you heard of the shadow side or shadow parts of ourselves, the deep, dark inner parts that we really don't want to look at? And that's exactly like how shame works, is if we don't give it some light, if we don't give those parts of us that we think are so shameful or not good enough some love and allow them to be authentic part of ourselves, then they're going to continue to use those fear-based belief systems to be able to just, it'll bubble up surface and it comes out like shame and blame and insecurity and
you made a valid point.
Yeah, not being able to be our true selves.
Like the shadows, I can see that. Like you said, if you don't put light on the shadows, then they're able to use that darkness that's in us. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Uses us in a way that is not willful. It's not our choice. It comes out as, I don't know if you've ever heard of Wayne Dyer, and it's probably been said by someone else, but he used to say, when you squeeze an orange juice comes out. Right?
A person can only give you what they feel.
That's right. So when you're squeezed, what is inside you is coming out. And if that's fear and anger, it comes out in a way that can be toxic or difficult for others or not authentic. And if you look at those parts of you, then you can intentionally decide what's going to come out of you because you understand those pieces of you. It's all part of you.
You said Wayne Dyer. Let me tell you something. So many people that's on my same frequency. Because we could really have a conversation if you into Wayne Dyer.
Perfect. I think that I should come as a massage therapist to one of your parties.
Yes.
And we can have the talks.
Yeah. We can really have this conversation if you into Wayne.
Oh, yeah. All those things. Yeah.
Like, woke is a whole nother, this is a whole nother show. I mean, and the reality is we've been conditioned to separate ourselves. Like I said, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. So good, right?
That's a whole nother conversation. And let me tell you something. That's a conversation I'm ready to have because that's what has us where we're at as a society, because nobody's taking a stance for God and letting people know what's in us. See, the thing is, we don't even know who we are.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
We don't even know who we are. We don't even understand the connectedness. Like you said, the trees, I got a lot of trees in my backyard, so I get it. I hug my tree. Like, how connected we are. The power that's in us, through us, as us.
That's why I like hugging trees.
Yes. Yes. They
tell me who I am.
We are connected. And that's why I think I'm misunderstood. I went to an event yesterday and the lady was like, so are you a member of a church? And I was like, I am the church. She was like, oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And that just separating, like, you taught me to call God He instead of teaching me the Holy Spirit lives within me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the energy. It's like, girl, look, man, you're going to have to talk. You're going to have to, because it's something that everybody, you can't talk to everybody about it.
That's true. Yeah. Everyone's not aware of that same truth within them.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you got to be open-minded and attached to, ooh, I love
Yeah.
you know, and that open mind. So many of us are conditioned in dealing with biases and dealing with chaos in our spirit because of the conditioning.
Yeah.
Because of the conditioning, like, we are not even aware that we were brainwashed.
That's right. Yeah. So many people are very disconnected. I see it a lot in my when I treat patients, that we call it a biopsychosocial approach to treatment. And that just means we're bringing in the whole person, not just the physical, what their symptoms are and what they're feeling, or if they're having pain, but also what do they believe is relevant about that pain? What biases have they been taught economically? What have they been taught to think about their own education or their own connection with their body or their medical experiences and relationships with caregivers? All of those things are complex, and they're what comes out in a treatment, and whether or not people receive that treatment in the same way that I, as a therapist, would love to see them gain some insight or some relief. It may not happen the way that I want it to. It happens because of who they are and what they believe. Their belief systems affect everything and how they heal or if they heal. And so that's the same kind of approach that we take to life, because we all have biases based on our upbringing, based on our belief systems, based on our experiences through life. And that's the same thing that you're talking about, is if we don't explore those biases that we have, we'll have no idea why we're reacting a certain way or why we're not healing the way that we had hoped to, or getting relief. And so that's one vehicle that can take us there, is just by looking deeper, or looking into those shadows, or looking into our biases or our perspectives from where we came from and where we want to be, and discover what those gaps are, and just explore more and have fun and follow the joy that comes to us based on where we want to be in life. And then, I mean, it's one step at a time, because it's a lot to deal with. Biases are a hard thing.
You said it's what was conditioned in us that had nothing to do with us,
Mm-hmm.
versus that version. It's what was defaulted, what was programmed in
Yes.
us,
Yeah.
that
That's right.
had nothing to do with us, base versus what we want to design. So that's the spiritual warfare that we have that nobody's talking about.
That's right.
That's the devil, and that's the what we're seeking to become whole, because the sin we were born into. I am 45 years old. I have 5 grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at my grandchildren, I'm like, we're looking for God. But when you look at a baby, when you look at it said, we were made in God's own image. So everything, we're born pure, with no ill will, no malice, no discord, no God didn't give us the spirit of fear. The spirit of fear. When
just
you
curiosity.
Look at a baby doesn't have no fear.
Yeah.
Everything be conditioned in so by the time, look, let me tell you something. I tell this story. I said, if somebody gave you 100 acres of land for free, but the land had old bags of trash, abandoned cars, abandoned houses, mangy dogs, and the grass had been cut in 20 years, would you take it?
Yes.
What's the first thing you would do with it?
Help it see its potential.
So how would you help it see its potential?
By cleaning up what it's been for however long it has been, and accepting it for what it is, and then shifting. So moving the garbage or moving the biases and being able to cleanse it in a way that feels like a gentle offering to reclaim its beauty.
And like I described this illustration to people. The bags of trash could be, insecurities. The mangy dogs be fear.
Mm-hmm.
The abandoned cars would be doubt.
Yeah.
The houses be chaos, and the rest would be discord, conflict. The grass had been cut, discord. Like all of this is going on in the land, which is the land is the mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mind. So nobody explained to us that we got to clear it up, which is not gonna be done in one day.
No.
Like I said, how he was mad. Becoming an alcoholic, and the things that was going on in his failed marriage. I'm a Wayne Dyer fan. You're there's a spiritual answer for everything, the 10 principles and the peace. Yeah, like I love Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Zig Ziglar.
Mm-hmm.
Like I come from an environment in which I had to reprogram my mind, and I still have to. Like I went to an event yesterday, and I'm still realizing I have to protect what I hear and see, because I will default back to being raised in an environment where I was criticized and I was condemned, and and I don't blame my mom, because she didn't know better, but the conditioning will always be in me, and that's my spiritual warfare that I deal with.
It's a continual journey all the time. Awareness, right? We have to be aware of that. So now that you talk about the mangy dogs being the fear, I'd probably love them first because they'll be running around barking at everybody and everything that you try to do. So I think loving our fears and our shadows is a difficult process, but necessary. If we want to live intentionally.
You gotta heal them mangy dogs, though.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Great conversation today. Thank you so much for coming on Transparent Table Talk. If you could have a conversation with people that have been through what you have experienced, from the seeing the elder people in the homes by themselves, from your experience going through with your mother, from the conversation we've had, but we're gonna have to schedule us another one and have a whole
talk. Please.
And really get a transparent table talk to have this conversation about our spiritual journey. But what is that conversation you would have with them, Kelly?
I think it would be having the courage to speak your truth, because you're the one that's living inside of you, and nobody else can really know that truth unless you speak it, whether you think you're going to be judged or not. It might be frightening, but because once you do speak your truth, those people who resonate with that will find you. And instead of surrounding yourself with people who judge you for who you authentically are, you're found for those people who love and honor who you authentically are. I tend to feel that it only takes one conversation to find the people who want to change the world with you. And that has been a recurring theme in my life the last year, because I've been speaking more truth. And that's when people turn around and say, "Oh, you too?" I've never heard someone say that, but that's how I feel too. And that makes a big difference when you're wanting to be authentic and find your community, and help others feel authentic as well. So I think speaking your truth is tough in this society, and it's so freeing.
You said so. And because I am a can't be boxed free to be person and I live authentic, I get so many people that come for me.
Yeah.
Try to tell me how to live. Like, you all don't think I know how to carry myself. Like, I am a professional. What does my professional performance have to do with my personality? Like, how can you put me in a box? Oh, because a professional lady's not supposed to act like that. I don't act like that when I'm in my professional capacity. Like, I have different. I know.
And whose definition of professional is it? Who's like Sonia Renee Taylor? You've probably heard of her book, Body is Not an Apology. And she's like, you're living in someone's dream right now. It may as well be yours. Right? Like,
now send me that night. I've never heard of her, but
okay. I'll send it to you. I resonate with that so much, because like everything that's been constructed in our society, your thought systems, our constructs, are what we're told to believe is someone else's dream. Probably some old white man, right?
We're going to have to have this.
Let's not live in that. Live in our own dream.
We're going to have that conversation, because that conversation goes into what my whole message of Bougiewild is about. And I'm not going to lie, just yesterday, I said, Lord, I'm looking for like-minded people. I want to be surrounded with like-minded, free to be people that's true to themselves and that can live authentically. Because the reality is we all have our struggles. Mm-hmm. But I just desire to be around. I just see free energy is happy energy.
Yeah. Yes. It's relaxed. It's not constricted and having to people please, like you were saying before. It just is. And that's what I'm looking for too, is the people who are authentic and live in their truth. That's who I want to be around. Right?
Yes, yes. I'm excited. And definitely, you said you'll come down. Look, definitely. Come on.
Yeah.
I love traveling. I love meeting people. My mission in life is to meet as many people. I travel different places to meet as many people, to live on through you. Like Wayne Dyer, he's not dead.
Mm-hmm. Right?
He's not dead. We talking about him. Look, he's living on through us, right?
That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
So, thank you so much for
You're
being
so welcome
here at Table Talk. Again, I do want to talk to you again. I want us to have this conversation. This is a conversation that I am looking to capture, because I am going to do I'm working on a Can't Be Box Free to Be campaign. And I would like for you to be a part of it.
I would love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been so fun to be part of. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. And you have a great evening.
You too.
I'm free to be me, it's what you see in my energy. I'm real with myself, I don't conform to society. I'm free to be me, it's the only way for me to stay true to my identity. I'm free to be me, I'm a person of pray for me.